Well, just when I'd managed to get my mansplaining problem under control, now I have this to worry about. Have you, as a man, ever hepeated? Are you a serial hepeater? Or do you even know what the hell hepeating is? Well, fear not. That's why you have me. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is and explain some of the bullshit around it. Because bullshit it is. Mansplaining, toxic masculinity, there's a whole plethora of new made-up words, mostly made up by the radical fringe feminist wackos.
I'm not done! Not done! Shut the fuck up!
Who seem to spend their days making up ever more derogatory and insulting terms for the male half of the population, because of course us men, we're responsible for all kinds of bad stuff and bad behaviour, and it has to be stamped out, and they need ever more creative words in order to describe it. So what is hepeating? And are you guilty of it? Well, let's find out. Let's start off with Business Insider and their article from Lindsay Dodgson. Men are getting the credit for women's work through something called hepeating. Here's what it means. Well, do tell, Lindsay, do tell, so we can all become better people. Who's she? Slavin Vlasic. Don't know who she is. Many women, let's read on. Many women may be familiar with their own ideas being repeated by men in meetings. It's called hepeating. Both men and women can adopt some strategies to stop it. Try them out this International Women's Day. Many women are probably familiar with their ideas and thoughts at work occasionally being met with blank faces and shrugs. Well, so have many men, I should know. If you've not only been the victim of this, but have then had a man step in and repeat what you've just said, there's now a word for it. It's called hepeating. And it describes when a man appropriates your comments or ideas and then is praised for them being his own. The word was recently coined by a friend of astronomer Nicole Gugliucci, whose tweet explaining the term has been retweeted over 67,000 times. My God, who is Nicole Gugliucci? Here she is, here on the Twitter sphere. Oh, Professor Nicole Gugliucci is very tired. Is she? I'll tell you what I'm tired of. This crap. These made up nonsensical times. Look, I'm not saying it never happens. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying guys can be overbearing dickheads. Of course they can. There's plenty of people, of men like that throughout time, throughout history. I should know, I've met plenty of them. But there's also just as many women who are dickhead, well, you know what I mean, who are unsavoury characters too. It's not exclusively a male thing. At the moment, in current year, women are as proliferant in the workplace as men, and as proliferant in office spaces, and maybe even more so in certain professions and certain industries than men. So, yeah, is there dickheads who are men out there? Yes. Are there dickheads who are women out there? Equally, yes. Do we have a name for those women? No. No, only the men. Anyway, Professor Nicole Gugliucci, she's tweeted out there. This seems to be where it started in 2017. My friends coined a word, says Professor Nicole Gugliucci. Funny how they all look like this, isn't it? There she is. See? Surprised? I'm not. Anyway, she's very tired. Okay, don't need to see that. All right. My friends coined a word, hepeated, for when a woman suggests an idea and it's ignored. But then a guy says the same thing and everybody loves it, says Professor Gugliucci. For everyday use, Gugliucci suggests, quote, I got hepeated in that meeting again. Or, quote, he totally hepeated me. Many women responded, saying that this happens to them every day. Every day. Both at work and in their social lives. My God, it's absolutely rampant. Others pointed out that this also highlights a point about racism. God, get the racism in there. As black and minority ethnic BME, people also have this done to them all the time. Jesus, everywhere. Who's Jazz? He tweets out, I'm going to go ahead and coin re-white. You see where this goes? Do you see when you start down this divisive, men versus women, battle of the sexes road? Do you see where it goes? It just ends up in all kinds of bad places. And suddenly everybody's fighting against everybody. And everybody's at odds with everybody. And everybody's pissed off with everybody. That's not the world we want. We're trying to move past that. We're trying to kind of work together. This whole thing is divisive and I don't think it's healthy. Men and women could and should work together in the workplace, in harmony, playing to each other's strengths. This whole thing of coining made up terms to label all men is divisive and it's not healthy, and I don't think it's a good idea in general. No more than the whole trope of the blonde bimbo. That was another abhorrent trope, which was equally bad and equally divisive and equally wrong. So, in the same way that men should not, and for the very most part do not, bundle women into this bimbo trope, then women shouldn't be bundling men into this, he hepeated me, he mansplained to me. No, if there's a dickhead in the office, then there's a dickhead in the office. Could be a man or a woman, and if they're being a dickhead, call them out. You have a voice, haven't you? You're a person, you're over 18, one would imagine, so stand up for yourself, I was going to say man up, but I can't say that. Alright, so then we're into the racist thing. Hepeating is yet another phrase women, what kind of women?
Shut the fuck up!
Have come up with to describe the infuriating nature of some workplaces. We already have mansplaining, which is when a man condescendingly explains something back to you, and man-terrupting. Honestly, please, stop this. Just stop. Stop it. Don't make everything a battle. It shouldn't be a battle. Man-terrupting. I've been interrupted equally by men and women in the course of my life. In the course of the journey through this cosmos, I've been interrupted by people of all shapes, colours, genders, sexes, heights, weights, hair colours. It's not a man thing, it's a people thing. Man-terrupting, where he literally talks over you. According to the Washington Post, women have recently come up with a strategy to stop this happening. It's called amplification. Amplification, which is when women's key points are listened to and repeated in meetings. Why? Giving credit to who came up with the idea, but that's kind of how it is now. In fact, some women's are filled with mostly women. I think you'll find if you go into a lot of office spaces now, there's either as many women as men, or possibly more women than men. This forces others in the room, says Insider, both men and women, to remember the contribution and who made it. So don't let yourself be hepeated. Team up with the other women in the room and make your voices heard. Okay. Alright, so there you go. You didn't know what it was. You were just about getting to grips with your mansplaining problem, as I was myself, and now, as men, we have this to worry about. What do you think? Is it rampant in society? Is it everywhere? Are women living, cowering in fear every time they walk into a meeting, every time they sit round the boardroom table, every time they have a little chat at the water cooler in the office that some male misogynist will heap them, making them run for the toilets and cry and bawl their eyes out with pure and utter frustration. Is that where we're at as a society? Men, stop it. Stop it with this heap eating.